two programs go back a long way. 76th meeting all time between Howard and Morgan State. Typically they have went down to the wire. In fact, 9 of the past 11 meetings, including last year's matchup, have been decided by less than 7 points. So you throw out the record books with these two rivals as they get set to shine in the bright spotlight of Chicago here at Soldier Field. Howard won the toss. They elected to defer, so we will get our first look at the Morgan State offense, defending MEAC champions. John Fleck with the foot into it, and we are underway. High, deep kick goes swirling out of bounds for the touchback.
Fleck's opening kickoff is moved through the end zone for a touchback. First and 10.
This Morgan State offense was able to move the ball last week against Virginia Lynchburg. They struggled the first 2 weeks out against Air Force and Illinois State. But a veteran quarterback, the senior Moses Skillon, ready to lead this offense. He has a number of weapons, as Jay talked about. Skillon out of Miami, Florida. Ready to lead this team, try to repeat their performance from a season ago.
Give credit to Morgan State. Very tough non-conference schedule. They took on Air Force, Illinois State, one of the best teams in FCS football. Got an easy win last week, but now it's all conference play. We'll see if the Bears are able to repeat as champions.
On first down, they'll give the ball to Orlando Johnson, and he is upended hard. Big time hit put on. Getting through from the safety spot. There's Craig Johnson right out of the gate.
Yeah, we talked about him having to have the ability to stop the run as well as the pass. Great tackle here in open space, a little bit high. Could have been called for a possible personal foul, but that's the type of aggressive nature you're going to have to see from Craig Johnson throughout the game.
Johnson and Bennett, 2 veteran secondary personnel for the Howard defense, and they will be tested by the speed on the edge for Morgan State. Gain of 2 on the game's first play, and now Skillon's going to throw for the first time. Underneath, has his tight end. Not much. Good second and third effort, as Akanawe fights hard for 2, maybe 3 yards.
Play action, great job by the linebacker on the inside, Elijah Englund. He's responsible for the tight end, gets the initial contact, and then a number of Bison defenders come over to finish off the play.
It sounds strange, but this third down critical more so for the Howard defense to try to build a little confidence.
They need to get some stops, and this is a defense that's not very deep, particularly at the defensive line position. So the more 3 and outs, or the less time on the field for the Howard defense, the much better off they are.
4 receivers set for Skillon on third down. They bring a blitz off the edge. It's picked up, some contact downfield, no flag, and it's a 3 and out for Morgan State.
Trying to get the ball to Ricky Fisk, who we talked about. I was close to being pass interference. You're allowed to bump the receiver 5 yards downfield. Seems to me as if Fisk was 5 yards beyond the first down marker, 10 yards downfield. I thought that could have been illegal contact.
Jalen Avery on to return the punt for Howard. Looks like they have 1 too many guys on the field, so he quickly redirects traffic. Chris Moeller on the punt, averaging around 39 yards a punt for this Bear program. Line drive wobbler. Avery at the 40 has some room across midfield, and a strong return of 17 yards, and terrific starting position for the Howard offense.
This is a start that Howard University needs. An offense that did not score a point in their first 2 games of the year. Obviously tough task taken on Appalachian State and Boston College. They managed to score some points last week for the first time versus Hampton. Now they get great starting position with Jamie Cunningham making his 2nd start of the season for the Bison. They need him to step up and play well. Great field position to start off this game.
Big shoes to fill coming into this season, trying to replace the departed Greg McGee. MEAC's all-time leader in total offense, but Cunningham has the confidence and the respect of his teammates and his coaches to get the job done. Play fake, wanted to go deep, floats it near side. He's hit as he released it. Andrew Mitchell applying the pressure for Morgan State.
And which is a good one. This is a bad sign for Howard. Only a 3-man rush on this play, just basically spot coverage, and you see Mitchell doing a good job of beating his man one-on-one and able to put a hit on the quarterback in his very first drop back.
An eye on number 2, Matthew Colvin. You see him split at the bottom of the screen for Howard. He is their go-to guy. A pretty young receiving corps for the Bison. Second and 10. They will hand the ball off over the right side. This is Donnell Pleasant. Not much. Pleasant gets up ahead for a yard, maybe 2. We mentioned the injuries mounting for Howard. Bad news earlier, just moments before kickoff. They found out their top rusher, Aquanius Freeman, a no-go today.
And Freeman has been the stability at the running back position. They lost a running back a year last season. Freeman stepped up this year. He's been their consistent guy. Had a great game last week versus Hampton. Losing him is big, not only in the running game, but in the passing game. He was an excellent blocker.
Third down play. Cunningham dumps it off. A lot of work to do, but you see the maneuvering of Pleasant, and he'll fall ahead for first down yardage. Kind of taking a page out of Freeman's playbook there. It's the freshman from San Diego picking up the first down.
And this is a great job because this is third down. They needed to get the first down. He catches this ball almost 10 yards away from the first down marker, makes a guy miss. Nice skip move to the inside, and watch him finish off the run, lowering the shoulder, picking up those 3 or 4 extra yards. It's a great job by the freshman from San Diego, California.
Yeah, he was offered some possibilities at San Jose State, Azusa Pacific, a West Coast kid, found a spot though near the nation's capital, and you're going to see a committee approach in that backfield with Raquaz Brandon, Pleasant, and possibly Rodney Tyson, kind of a scat back opportunity for Howard. Set of downs, zone read. They get it back to Pleasant over the right side. Flag comes in as Pleasant picks up 3 yards.
Talking about the absence of Aquanius Freeman, this is what he did last week versus Hampton. Look at him taking on defenders. Really good runner in between the tackles, the ability to punish the defense. He really gave the Bison their best opportunity at success last week. It's going to be interesting to see how they continue without him moving the football on the ground particularly. But it looks like Donnell Pleasant early on brought his A-game to the table.
Freeman was second on the team last year with 36 receptions. 11 receptions through the first 3 weeks, but not in uniform today. As you just saw, a pretty good start for Donnell Pleasant. The holding penalty pushes it back as they give it right back to Pleasant, straight up the middle. Not much there as he gets to Andrew Mitchell collapsing down along with Greg Gibson.
Andrew Mitchell seems like he's going to be a matchup problem for the offensive line for Howard. Early in this contest, we've already seen him make tackles for loss and in the backfield, one-on-one beating his defender.
Quick throw and catch, Jalen Avery with it. Gang tackling, Gibson, the middle linebacker, in on the stop, along with Brandon Rogers. Setting up another third down, yet another flag ball back where Cunningham let that go. They're going to pick up the flag, wave it off. You saw the different tempo there from Howard. They'll run some different speeds. They feel confident with Cunningham being a part of the system the past couple of years that he can orchestrate the different speeds.
And I think the importance for Cunningham, he looked very rusty at times versus Hampton last week. He missed the first 2 games of the season. This is only his second start of the year, his own second game. See if he can shake off some of the rust and regain some of the accuracy.
Deep drop, he's hit as he threw it, incomplete. Pressure up the middle from Greg Gibson, the redshirt sophomore. And that sets up decision time for Howard.
In a blitz situation, you'll see Gibson come from the middle of the screen, number 41, just pummel Donnell Pleasant trying to make a blitz pickup and able to get a hit on the quarterback.
Fourth down, a quick snap, home run ball, looking for the end zone, some contact, incomplete. They were looking for Colvin, excuse me, Dedrick Jones with the coverage, tight man-to-man coverage.
And you see a little bit of the rust right there again showing up from Cunningham, not giving the receiver an opportunity to make the catch. This ball's thrown so far in the end zone, the receiver can't make a play. No way he's going to get to that ball, and that's one where you have to allow your receiver an opportunity to at least come back for the ball and try to make a play or pick up a pass interference penalty. Wow, but what a tough start right there. You take a look at head coach Gary the Flea Harrell. Great field position. They only moved the ball 7 or 8 yards, walk away with no points. Offensive struggles continue for Howard University.
Gary Harrell in his 4th year, 17-20 all time. The 94 Howard alum, who you're quite familiar with. We'll talk more about that record-setting connection as we go deeper into the broadcast. No score from Chicago.
They say that
each team has had at once no score early on, and now a wildcat look on the second series as they have Ricky Fisk operating the quarterback spot. He throws it laterally backwards to Andrew King. So the two guys you highlighted, kind of unorthodox there, but they get 8 yards.
We'll give credit to the coaching staff for kind of tipping their hand what they were going to do. They mentioned Fisk and King, the ability to run the read option. This is right now Fisk just calling his own option. If they defended well, get rid of the football. You see once again the stress being placed on the strong safety, Craig Johnson, number 39. He's in no man's land. Do you stop the run or do you run out there and stop the pass to the receiver? He's going to be very active today. They're going to put him in some key situation. Right now you see him coming out on the slot. The guy you see right there in the middle screen, that's the most dangerous man in the field right now. Closest to the middle of the field with some speed. That's a little bit of a mismatch problem.
Craig Johnson will try to slow down the slot there, and here's a dangerous pass, nearly intercepted as Johnson, who was defending that slot spot, stayed home and nearly had the pick.
And this is the poor read by Skill on the quarterback. Johnson settles all the way. He's looking at the receiver. He's making a break on the ball. He gave a free release to the receiver that was in the slot behind him. Had Skillon made the read, look at the touchdown throw. He allowed that slot first receiver to get past the safety. They were squatting on that all the way, and Skillon did not see it. Fortunate that ball was not intercepted.
3rd down and 2 for Morgan State. Skillon redirecting his troops. He'll run the option, pitch it to Johnson. 1st down yardage and then some as he is scraped out of bounds at the 49-yard line, and the first down for the Bears.
When you see a 5'8", 165-pound running back, then there's a deep threat all the time. He's a home run hitter. They don't have Herb Walker services so far this season. Johnson's a guy that when he gets the ball, gets the corner, they expect him to break home run type runs. Be very careful when you see Johnson in the backfield. Extremely difficult to tackle in the open field.
Running back coach Ken Lucas described the past spring as the most consistent for Johnson among this pretty deep area for Morgan State when you throw in Johnson and Lamont Brown, and then you mention Herb Walker, who's inactive today. There's the read as the quarterback Skillon will keep it. Plow ahead onto the Howard side. Tough 4 yards for the senior quarterback.
And I believe plays like that on 1st down are going to be the measuring stick for Morgan State. A season ago, on 1st down, 2nd down, they could pick up the 1st down with 2 consecutive plays running the football. Do they have the same ability to do that now with 3 freshmen starting on the offensive line and another sophomore that's making his 5th career start? Very inexperienced on the offensive line. Last year that was a staple. This year will they be able to continue last year's success?
2nd down, they move the pocket, and off the deflection, the catch is made. Markham Banks, and another near interception. This Howard defense trying to generate some turnovers.
This has to be an interception. I mean, this is a poor throw, a poor read by Skillon. His 2nd one, that ball is picked off. It should be going the other way. England missed the interception. You have to see that. He's underneath the route. But fortunately, Markham Banks was there. Great concentration to make the catch.
It's the first catch of the year for the fullback Banks. Sets up a 3rd down for Moses Skillon. So living a little dangerously in this 1st quarter. A couple of should have been interceptions from the Howard defense. 3rd down and 5. Play clock to 1. They get it off, middle screen set, and picking up the 1st down. They get 7 yards up to the 38-yard line. Trevon Hunt, one of the backup corners, in on the stuff.
And this is Andrew King, one of those playmakers. They set him up. They went empty personnel trying to bait Howard into bringing a blitz. They brought the blitz. They had a wide receiver screen set up in the middle of the field to pick up a first down. Sometimes what a good coordinator will do is use your tendencies against you. Howard likes to bring pressure whenever there's an empty backfield. Morgan State knew that and they were able to convert.
Got to get King some early touches. Look at the speed of Johnson hitting the hole. Double-digit yardage up ahead to the 25-yard line. He hit the accelerator button real quickly that time.
He runs tough for a running back with a small frame, just 165 pounds, but watch him use his size. Squeeze through that little hole, accelerate, take on a couple of defenders, not too many, small guy, and take on a couple of defenders, pick up the extra yardage.
Good-looking drive by Morgan State on their second possession in this first quarter. You see the clock inside, 7 minutes to go. They pitch it to Johnson, trying to scoot to the outside, but he is wrapped up. Craig Johnson from his safety position in on the stop, and we are seeing a lot of Orlando Johnson. Last year, the MEAC saw a lot of a pretty talented running back in Herb Walker Jr. You see what he accomplished, over 1,400 yards on the ground, which was a single-season record for Morgan State.
That's great, but I love 15 touchdowns. 15 touchdowns on the season. That's a playmaker, all-conference running back, special talent. Would have been up for the Payton Award this year. His yards per carry last year averaged over 5.5 yards per carry. He was special. They're going to miss him.
Taking a shot toward the end zone, wide open, and a drop by Harrison. A breakdown in the secondary, and Grayling Harrison would love to have that one back.
This is a really good job by Skillon of recognizing this. He does a good job of holding the safety in the middle of the field. Look at his face. He's looking in the middle of the field, then recognizes on the sideline, oh, they've allowed Harrison open in the soft spot of the zone. Harrison, you have to make that catch.
The junior from Baltimore looking for his first catch of the season. Got a couple of grabs last year, ironically both in the season opener against Eastern Michigan. Then he was shut down the rest of the way. Missed opportunity. Third down and long. Here comes the blitz up the middle and the edge. So Skillon's going to take it straight up the gut. He's to the 5, wrapped up at the 3. Good quick decision by the quarterback there to take advantage of the situation.
You have to be careful when you blitz a mobile quarterback with this type of size. 6'5". He just takes off up the middle, and the long strides able to get close to the end zone. When you blitz and you don't get to the quarterback, a good quarterback is going to make you pay. Great job by Moses Skillon.
22 yards. Morgan State converts on yet again another third down. Prime opportunity here. First and goal inside the 5. They will give it to Johnson. He'll scoot his way forward for 6. Touchdown and the home run for Orlando Johnson.
He's a home run hitter, and this one, watch the speed to the edge. Quick acceleration. One bad angle taken by number 31. That became a walk-in touchdown. David Lee got out of position. Orlando Johnson beat him to the edge for the touchdown.
Ten plays, 69 yards. And with 5:34 on the clock here in the first quarter, Morgan State strikes.
Offside, defense, number 94, half the distance to the goal. We still have the try.
You know, Jay, we were talking no Herb Walker here for the start of the season, in fact, for Howard or for Morgan State because of the academic issue. Lamont Brown, who was the guy he replaced last season. Brown was injured in the very first game against Eastern Michigan, missed all of last year with an ACL. He is healthy and ready to go, so it looks like a pretty lethal 1-2 punch in that backfield. The combination of Lamont Brown and Orlando Johnson. This time, it's the 5'8" sophomore, number 1, giving Morgan State their initial 6. Ten plays, 69 yards. Orlando Johnson scores his second rushing touchdown of the year. He puts Morgan State out in front of Howard 7-0. The Bears on that last drive, 3 for 3 on third downs. Johnson accounting for 42 of those 69 yards. So getting the young sophomore from Memphis involved, that offensive line. No Darren Pinnock this year, the MEAC offensive lineman of the year a season ago, graduated, but that young core, which includes a couple of freshmen doing the job along with the center, Dominique Woods.
The offensive line, Clarence Wayne, Pinnock, they were huge and they were good last year. They've got a good young core now, but it's just a matter of they need some game reps.
Getting to the outside is the speedster Mercer. The track and field participant takes it out past the 35-yard line. Don't forget, Sunday from 8 a.m. to noon, ESPNU brings you College Football Sunday. From Heisman hopefuls to championship contenders, College Football Sunday is the only show that ranks them all exclusively on ESPNU and watch ESPN. The Bison begin their second series. Good starting shape again at the 38-yard line. Let's see if they try to get something on the ground. Started with Donnell Pleasant. Again, no Aquanius Freeman today. They're going to throw the quick flare out. That is a forward pass, incomplete. Looking for Tamlin Antoine.
And those are the little things I think Cunningham will improve upon throughout the season. But as a quarterback, you have to be able to hit that wide receiver bubble screen right in the chest. We've seen him twice make low throws on the ground. Hard to get a running start if you have a ball that's thrown at your ankles.
Have the fullback in of the offset eye, and somebody twitched up front for Howard.
False start, offense, number 54, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Gary Harrell talked about it this week with us in depth as far as what he wanted to see. He wanted to see this team start fast and really develop some mental toughness. And we're seeing some early mistakes by this line, by this young offensive group, that just puts you behind the ball in shame when you're trying to make up yardage. And those yardage are already tough to come by with this young and inexperienced squad. 2nd and 15, a play fake by Cunningham. Has to avoid the pressure. Trying to run upfield, being chased. Nice job to pick up positive yardage. There's a marker down in the vicinity of a hold back at the 25.
Hold, offense, number 58, 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay second down.
That's their leader, Torrey Boyd.
Torrey Boyd, the experienced offensive lineman. The strength is supposed to be the offensive line for Howard University. But right side of your screen, I don't know about that. I think he held number 58, Joel Scott. I don't think that was Boyd. I think that was the guard, Aaron Hutchins. But it was 58, Joel Scott, who induced the holding penalty up the middle. I don't think that was a hold on Boyd. Torrey Boyd is the senior with the junior lead of this group, the best lineman out of the bunch from Miami, Florida. And coming into the season, everybody thought the strength of this team was going to be the offensive line.
Pleasant makes the catch, but then he is thrown down immediately. Joel Scott again in the vicinity. Scott, the 5th-year senior, the elder statesman of what is a young linebacking core. You're probably going, man, these guys are saying young a lot. Well, that's the truth both ways.
Very much so, but it's so ironic. You take a guy like Joel Scott, 5th-year senior, was at Morgan State when they were just average and had some down years. And for them to have a successful season, they had a season ago. You almost feel good. That's what the college football is all about, a program that was dormant for so many years.
Offside, defense, number 92, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, third down.
And they're rewarded with a championship from a season ago, and now the opportunity to see if they can build a dynasty, so to speak. Once you're the champions, you go out the next year, first conference game, and Coach Lee Hall has this program going in the right direction, that's for sure.
It's so impressive. They were predicted to finish near the bottom, dead last in the MEAC, and they stormed. It was a 4-way tie, and they won the tiebreaker and earned the school's first trip to the FCS playoffs, a matchup against Richmond. 3rd and a mile here for Jamie Cunningham. Swings it out. Pleasant's been very active, makes the catch. Big-time contact out past the 30 up to the 33-yard line, well shy of a first down.
And I'm impressed with this Morgan defense. They have a lot of speed and they're very aggressive. Great size. But right here, it's all about pad level. He's just a freshman. You have to have a lower pad level. This is too high. That's too high to take a hit. And then you've got so much target as you're going to the ground. You get hit again. I think that's something that the young freshman from California will learn. Keep the shoulder pads low on this level of football.
Bill Hill, who came in, backup linebacker to deliver the boom. John Fleck on the punt for the second time. This one's a high, shallow kick that will spin out of bounds. A good starting position for Morgan State. 7-0 Bears on top here at Soldier Field in Chicago. Good look at some of the festivities here, this two-day festival, the Chicago Football Classic, the Morgan State marching band getting loosened up, ready to go halftime. One of the great traditions, the battle of the bands coming up at the intermission. They're getting all cranked up, loosened out, ready to rock and roll coming up at the intermission. Speaking of cranking up, this offense looked good on their last drive. They marched it down the field 69 yards. And it was a steady dose of Orlando Johnson. Now we get that second-headed dragon back there in that backfield. Lamont Brown, his first carry. Brown's a terrific talent, banged up last year, tore his ACL in the season opener against Eastern Michigan. Missed the whole year, had to watch his teammate Herb Walker put up those type of numbers. And he said that was tough. He was happy for him, but it was really tough to watch.
It's always tough, but when somebody comes in and exceeds all the expectations for the position, just think Herb Walker in the right place at the right time and made the most of his opportunity.
Big hole over the right side on the trap block as Brown powers ahead close to another first down.
And you mentioned the trap block. Great job by number 75, Cooper Clarkin, on this quick pull. This is what you have to get good at. Small space, number 75, wham! Meet the linebacker in the hole. Great vision by Lamont Brown setting up the run. Almost picked up the first down. And those are the things that you start to get better at. He's just a freshman, a true freshman out of high school. 6'3", 270 pounds. Able to get his assignment, keep the shoulder pad level down. They're starting to grow. And then I say they're starting to grow, then one of the other freshmen on the right side, Adrian Allen, jumps off sides.
False start, offense, number 59, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Oh, the life of a freshman, right, Jay?
But for him, it's getting frustrating because when they played their first game of the year, he was illegal procedure offsides 3 times. So you figure you work on that. That was a situation there where he was the only person that was even close to moving offside. You have 3rd and 2, 2.5, and now you're forced with 3rd and 8 over a mental error. You cannot continue to do that as an offensive ball club.
You see the pistol set that Lee Hole brought with him from Maryland on this 3rd down screen. They dump it off to Brown, and his wheels gave out. Well shy of the first down. Jalen Day was in the vicinity, and Morgan State is forced to punt.
And not a good series. Allen put him in that position of having to throw the screen pattern. But then watch this. It's a screen to the right side. It's going to be on the left side of your screen. Get out of there. Hit the man. Poor angle allows Jalen Day to come in to make the easy open field tackle on the running back. Freshman mistake. Adrian Allen, you made the mistake on the illegal procedure, and then you did not have a sense of urgency to get out there in the flat and be the lead blocker. Has to do a better job.
Spiraling kick, Avery on the run with some momentum and speed built, takes it down the side to the 47-yard line. 19-yard return, and Howard continues to have good starting position. They're
winning the battle of field position in terms of starting it, but this offense has to wake up. And you mentioned earlier, they needed to get out to a good start. They're already down 7-0. They have high expectations for Jamie Cunningham, who's been in the program for 3+ years. His first year as a starter after replacing Greg McGee. At some point, you need to start moving the football. The offense is going to start questioning your leadership ability. They're going to bring somebody else in. But they're already down 7-0. He needs to complete some passes and help put some points on the board.
Cunningham is going to throw. They set up the screen. They get it to the receiver, and busting into the secondary is Lemonier. Lemonier takes it to the 28-yard line. Well-structured play on first down.
One thing I've learned throughout the years is wide receivers from the state of Florida, particularly Miami, they can run after the catch. They become great running backs good job of exploding, accelerating for the big play. They're very excited about this young freshman. They think he's got game-breaking potential. We saw a glimpse of it there.
37 yards on the quick hitter. Deepest penetration by Howard. They give it up the middle. Lots of room for Rodney Tyson to go. Tyson, who was predominantly a third down back over the past couple of years, going to see some more carries with the injury to Freeman. See if Howard can get one more play off this up-tempo style. They do. They get the snap off. Tyson gets the call, and he is hit at the 20-yard line. So 15 minutes.
That's the end of the first quarter.
In the books here at Soldier Field in Chicago. The early touchdown run by Johnson. The Battle of the Bands coming up. Morgan State by 7. Morgan State on top 7-0 as we move into the second quarter. Jay, give me 5. Take us through those power rankings this week.
About that time, Hampton, impressive win last season. Great quarterback. He could be the best in the Mid-East Athletic Conference. They're number 5. But on the number 4, Southern University. I think they're a team that's going to contend. They took it on the chin with Georgia today, but that's expected. They're really good. Great young quarterback in Austin Howard. North Carolina A&T. Really like these guys. They've got some talent. It's going to be a good showdown for them. Number 2 is South Carolina State. They're very physical, probably the best defensive player in the conference, maybe in all FCS, and Javon Hargrave. And number 1, are they going to go wire to wire? Alcorn started number 1. Now they're getting in the middle of conference play. We'll see. They can hold on. And Bethune-Cookman dropped out of the top 5 because they struggled with only a 7-3 victory versus Lane College. And Grambling, the G-men, well, they're going to have a hard time leapfrogging Bethune-Cookman because Bethune-Cookman beat Grambling in Grambling. So early in the season, a lot of things can change, but that's power rankings right now.
Third down, Cunningham forced to throw it away. He felt the heat. Joel Scott coming through from his linebacker position, and decision time here for Howard. Do you settle for 3? Or do you try to punch it in?
If you feel good with your field goal kicker and flex a good one, I think you kick the field goal. You need some points. This is an offense that has struggled to score points.
This will match the number on his jersey. 37-yard attempt for Fleck, a 3-year kicker, a veteran. As Jay mentioned, he's a good one. He connected from 39 last week and lost to Hampton. Holder will be Jalen Avery. Good snap, good placement. Kick on the way, and he pushed it to the right. No good. And the Bison come up empty. So a missed opportunity for Howard, and they trail 7-0 as Morgan State gets set to get back out there in their offense. Don't forget, out and about on this college football Saturday. Don't miss any of the action while you're on the go. Stream any game live, download the Watch ESPN app, or go to watchespn.com. You like the decision there, though?
I think you have to go for it. If you make it 7-3 with a touchdown, you're right there in the game. You don't know what type of ball game this is going to be. Morgan's offense drove down the field pretty easily, but they only have 7 points on the scoreboard. So I like the decision, but the execution not there. Bison is still down 7-0.
Full house look in the backfield with 3 backs, and keeping it his skill on over the right side as he pushes ahead for 3, maybe 4 yards. Moses took over the job last year late in the season. He was back up to Robert Council, but he took over as a starter, went 3-2 for Lee Holm in his second year. And it was a difficult transition with the implementation of the pistol and some new schemes grammatically for what Hull wanted to implement.
But towards the end of the season, they were clicking on all cylinders. Quality victory versus South Carolina State, I think, was their defining moment. The pistol caught some people off guard in the conference. We'll see how they do the second year around.
Quick throw near side, caught. Ricky Fisk with the grab. He'll pick up the first down. Coverage by Johnson.
And I really do like the approach. You can tell from just being around Coach Lee Hall that he's a mild manner and players want to play for him. And I think last year he gained their trust and their belief in his system. When you start off with the rocky start they started off with, and then towards the end of the year, you start seeing what can happen when you execute. Players believe in that. And once you start believing in your coach, then you can count that for 1 or 2 extra wins per season. In the case of Morgan State, that's what happened. And that's why they were able to win all the tiebreak scenarios and become conference champion for the first time in over 30 years.
1979 the last time. Skillon the throw,
Nice.
down the seam, has his man. Harrison with the catch. Cuts to the 15, avoids the tackle, but he stepped out of bounds. Grayling Harrison, who dropped a sure touchdown earlier, made sure he held on to this one.
And this is a great job. They put the safety in a bind. Deep crossing route, X over as you may want to call it. You're going to see him cross your screen from the left all the way to the right. Good patience by Skillon to allow him to clear that linebacker in open space. Becomes a foot race. Puts a shake on. Did he step out? Oh, I don't know. They do use instant replay. I think you may want to challenge that. It was not a clear case of him stepping out of bounds, and he had plenty of sideline in which to avoid the defender. I think you may want to take a look at this if I were Morgan State.
Timeout, Morgan State. That's their first charge timeout of the half.
And that's
This
smart.
is their 30-second timeout.
They call it timeout because they want to give the officials an opportunity to take a look at the replay, maybe see, should we challenge this on the spot? And what I like is when you see from here, look at how much sideline he saves himself in order to set up this. About 5 yards. He slows down. That gives him a little room to the outside, and that's in. That's the one that's close to me. Get that back heel touch
Of his left leg.
of his left leg. And that's the block. It looked like he was in. It was blocked a little bit.
Right.
It was shielded.
And that's the key there. The call on the field is he stepped out of bounds. Is there enough evidence?
Okay, I think if you look at that, you could say it's close enough where you can't overturn it. I thought he was in, but I think I can understand why you don't overturn the call on the field.
So it goes down as a 59-yard connection. Big strike. Morgan State 152 yards offense. Here's the throw out of the backfield. Making the grab is Brown, but a good one-on-one tackle is made. That time for Howard, it was the backup corner coming through, making the grab. So they're throwing to these running backs.
But now I think it's a teaching moment for your season. You've got the ball down here throwing it. You get the ball inside the 5-yard line. You got a huge offensive line up front. Time to play power football with my big 6'5", 230-pound quarterback.
They have Banks and Brown in the backfield. They run the option and nowhere to go. You see the headgear come flying off.
Now, this is going to hurt.
Tommy Boozer came flying in, knifing his way through.
And you see running the option, trying to change directions. I would have gone downhill, but this is going to hurt because his helmet came off during the play. He has to go out for a play. Now, I would think about burning a timeout here in order to allow Skillon to come back in the game.
Timeout, Morgan State. That's their second charge timeout.
So Lee Hole is going to use his second timeout here on this series and try to keep his quarterback on for what will be an important third down coming up when play resumes. So Lee Hole, I think he wants to call maybe on a face mask possibly. Don't forget, coming.
I'm just curious. I'd like to take a look at the end of that play in which Skillon's helmet came off. I don't think he was grabbed around the helmet. Let's take a look.
Number 12
on the
can come in for the next play.
No, that's just a case of the quarterback having a loose helmet, and it came out, and they had the rule in place because they want the quarterbacks to tighten up the chin straps a little bit more. Not much contact that brought that helmet off.
Who do you go to here on this third down?
I think you look for Fisk if you can get him in one-on-one situation.
Skillon looks, floats, corner of the end zone, marker down, touchdown as King hauls it in, but there is a flag at the 5. So hold the boats here and let's see what the call is.
I think that's going to be a touchdown. I thought a lot of contact, maybe a face mask on the defense.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The results of the play is a touchdown.
The freshman from Rockford, Illinois, playing close to home. Jonathan Cooper with the face mask, but the touchdown for Andrew King, and Morgan State ups the ante.
And that was easy. That much separation. We knew that King and Fisk were going to be involved in the passing game, getting your playmakers in space, and great job of getting separation. Easy throw, easy catch, easy touchdown for the Bears.
AT&T.
6 plays, 80 yards for Morgan State. They go on top 14-0 over Howard in the MEAC battle here in Chicago. Andrew King, team's leading receiver a year ago, 2015 All-State Good Works nominee for Morgan State. You know, talking with Lee Hull, he likened him to the work that Torrey Smith has done in the Baltimore area with the Ravens. And of course, Hull very familiar with Smith and the likes of Darius Hayward-Bay from his days at Maryland. And Andrew King, very active, goes around talking to younger students in the area about being a student athlete. He actually helps the coaches out around campus clean up the streets physically, give the appearance of first-class university. And just an unselfish player, a great team leader, and he's been a key on the edge for them the past couple of years.
And I think they relied on their leadership going through the coaching change, which they did. Coach Donald Hill-Ely's style was so much different than Coach Lee Hull. And I think this one became one where they trusted the players a little bit more. And I think Coach Hill-Ely, no question, did a good job at Morgan, given what he brought them from to the situation where they were at the bottom consistently. And he started to bring a level of expectations, and I think that Coach Hull's taken that level of expectation and met them. And right now, tell you what, there were a lot of questions whether or not Morgan, that was the #1 question, would they be able to continue the success? Pretty good looking ball club, and if they can get some of these young freshmen to mature in a hurry, look out. I don't think the Bears are going back into hibernation.
College football prime time presented by McDonald's alongside Jay Walker, Sean Kinney, as Howard tries to get something started on the ground with Donnell Pleasant. Just 2 first downs so far in this first half for the Bison.
Something that won't show up in the stat sheet, but this is how you play the defensive end position. Joel Scott, outside linebacker. Let's see number 58. Nothing gets outside you. Nothing gets outside you. Nothing gets outside you. Did you see the angle? He was going to fully sell out and make it a foot race to the sideline to force the running back to cut back. That's how you play outside contain.
Throw and catch, maybe. Nope, Antoine lost it as he went down.
Pass is ruled incomplete.
Wouldn't have been much of a game because he was already falling down to the turf as that ball arrived.
Out there before the field. This field is very slick. There are a number of folks that were sliding all over in pregame. Matter of fact, Morgan State coach Lee Hull said he's going to ask some of his players to get longer spikes. It's an NFL field, but it's very slick, and now the sun is starting to go down. It could become a slippery playing surface.
3rd and 6. They swing it out to Pleasant. Has some work to do, and he is clobbered at the 34-yard line. Hello, Damari Whitaker.
We said it from the second carry. Look at the pad level on Pleasant when he makes this catch in the open space. You have to lower your pad level or else you're going to get hit. This is too big a hit for a collegiate running back to take.
Whitaker, one of the returning linebackers, making a change. He moved to outside this season after mainly playing as one of the inside backers in this 3-4 scheme a season ago. Fleck is on the punt again for Howard. Good looking kick as he tries to keep it away from the dangerous King, and it goes out of bounds. Morgan State looking to defend their title with a bang here in Chicago.
Here, we educate tomorrow's leaders today. The Howard Experience allows students to engage in self-exploration through sports, music.
Somebody's learning about a little rhythm and blues and band music.
Love those tunes.
Wide open.
Wide open downfield. It's Andrew King. He spins away from Russ, and he'll go into the end zone for the touchdown. 64 yards. And the sounds are smooth right now for Morgan State.
I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you Andrew King and Fisk were going to be the difference makers. The 2 slot receivers. Play action draws it. The safety goes across with the outside receiver. King right up the seam, becomes a foot race. Playmakers in open space, they don't get tackled. Good job of keeping his balance with the spin move. became a foot race to the end zone. And Andrew King
King with his third catch in this first half. His last two have ballooned this up to a huge Morgan State lead.
Well, this is a good one. Just sets him up on the route. Good job by Skillon of holding the safety in place, making the read. The rest is all Andrew King.
Moses Skillon entered today looking for his first touchdown passes of the season. He shut out with Air Force and Illinois State. Last week's game with Virginia University of Lynchburg did not count as far as the standings. They won that game 61-0. He threw touchdowns last week against the Dragons, but those statistics don't count since the NCAA doesn't criteria as far as Lynchburg being
Well, let me ask you this question. Is that okay for them to play Lynchburg or not? Some people may question it, but I say if you're a team that's going to go on the road, get a paycheck to get beat by Air Force, go to Illinois State, play a very tough team, the top 5 teams in the FCS.
Semi-finalist a year ago.
Yeah, why not give yourself a little light game, build up your confidence in case your team started to not believe in themselves. Give yourself, I don't want to be offensive and call Lynchburg a cupcake, but why not give yourself a team a little bit easier game so you can prove they can play in the system? And it seems to be paying well now because in conference play, it hasn't stopped. They're continuing to score points.
And maybe the only thing I might add to that is get one where it does count. There are plenty of opportunities at that Division II level, of teams where the stats and the record would count.
Maybe so.
And it was a late change, too, with Lynchburg.
And I think, give credit. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, along with the Southwestern Athletic Conference, have decided that they're going to play each other in a championship game called the Celebration Bowl. So the priority is not to make it to the FCS playoffs, as it has been for years and years. For now, the conference priority is get to the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta, December 19th, to win the Black College National Championship. So they're not really worried about strength of schedule. They're worried about winning the conference and making it to Atlanta.
Howard trying to get something started. Donnell Pleasant wrapped up Joel Scott. He's been a machine in this first half. Another TFL for the fifth-year senior.
And on the previous highlight for Scott, what did I tell you his responsibility was?
Get outside.
Don't let anything get outside of him. Keep it in front of you. And you have to realize as a runner, if he's not going to let you outside, he's in position, you have to cut back earlier or give him a move to make him squat and then put a burst to the outside.
This game getting dangerously close for Howard, getting out of hand. This offense has to give the defense a break. Cunningham a play fake, settles underneath, just nothing open downfield. Pleasant struggles for 6 yards. Damari Whitaker and Greg Gibson in the area. It's Gibson with the tackle.
And it seems like Morgan State is just starting to manhandle Howard University, controlling the line of scrimmage. Every time Cunningham drops back, he's getting hit. Having to release the ball earlier, not enough time to go through your progression.
Another third down for Howard. Looked like he wanted to go deep, nothing there, and an incomplete pass and a 3-and-out. Now this Howard quarterback situation, Kalen Johnson won the starting job out of spring. He was ineffective in the first 2 games, 2 tough ones, kind of to his defense. So they went with Cunningham last week. Looked pretty good against Hampton at times.
Well, you got to look inside the story. Cunningham was supposed to be the starter, and he had to sit out the first 2 games because Spencer, he didn't play at all, and they went with the freshman. So that was very tough. You put a true freshman, Kalen Johnson, to take on the likes of Appalachian State and Boston College. They didn't score any points. I don't think that was a big surprise, but they expected so much more once Cunningham came back. So Cunningham came back, and they thought, well, now it's a new season. We got him in time for conference play. But thus far, I would say, if you look at Cunningham's play this year, I mean, C- at best. And right now, he's off to a poor performance here. But I don't think it all falls on Cunningham, the quarterback. This offensive line has to do a better job. I mean, Morgan State is just manhandling them right now. They don't seem like they have the ability to run the football. They can barely pass protect. Give credit to Morgan. I mean, these guys, everybody, I wanted to see how would they do, how would they handle the success of a championship season, and Coach Hull has these guys focused.
Gary Harrell in his 4th year, mentioned a 94 Howard alum. He knew how to put points on the board. You two had that dynamic connection.
still got some records in the record books. People still talk about you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I always say if you throw more touchdowns and interceptions, they'll remember you. But when you go undefeated, you become a legend. And we're a legendary team.
Exactly. Oh, terrific kick here by John Fleck. A boom of a kick over the head of King. He'll let it bounce inside the 20. John Fleck had an 83-yard punt earlier this year against Appalachian State. There is a flag down, and flag behind the action.
Doing the return, holding, defense, number 31. 10 yards will be added to the dead. 10 yards from the dead ball spot. First down.
Couple of touchdown receptions for Andrew King. Morgan State in control in the Windy City.
Robert from Bloomfield.
Morgan State needed only one play the last time the offense was out there. A 64-yard hookup to King. Skillon throws, and it's knocked away incomplete. He was looking for Fisk. Trevon Hunt nearly jumped the lane.
And the defense has had opportunities to make big plays. You know, game-changing plays. You know, I think it's safe to say they dropped 2 interceptions early for Howard University, and that right there, if you can intercept that ball, I mean, that's a pick 6 right away. So they're getting themselves in position to make the big plays. They haven't done it, and I think when they don't come up with the big play, they don't have the talent to really stop a more skilled offensive unit from Morgan State.
2nd and 10. Skillon will throw the screen. And it's King again, maneuvering his way through blue jerseys, and he'll pick up good yardage out past the 20. First down on the screen to King.
And you see so many of these bubble screens. If you're going to throw these, you have to have great blocking outside by your wide receivers. Now watch the block at the top of your screen going to be made by Kirby Linscomb. He's waiting, stalking. Oop, there he is. Once he goes down, able to go and give enough of a crease for the yardage. And pardon me, that's Grayling Harrison, who had the big catch earlier, showing not only can he catch footballs, but he can also block his position.
Inside 8 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Skillon will flip it out to King again, makes the catch. 6 more yards up ahead to 26, simply taking what Howard is giving him.
And that's what you need right now. You start off with a poor field position, pick up a first down, start to get your offense going in motion. One of those drives where they've already done what they were supposed to do, even if they don't pick up another first down. Punt the ball from at least a 25-yard line to help regain some of the field position. But now with it's 2nd and 6, they're starting to find a comfort zone offensively. And Howard, desperate times. I think it's time you send pressure to try and disrupt this Morgan State offense, maybe by blitzing some linebackers.
Jalen Day, Travis Brown, Elijah England, the 3 backers for Howard, movement up front.
Ball start, offense, 54, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Mentioned the series between these two teams have been tight through the years. 9 of the past 11 determined by less than 7 points. Last year it came down to a field goal by Chris Moeller from 38 yards out to seal the deal for Morgan State. The Bears have had the advantage over the past decade. You see the old-time numbers. Morgan State having won 8 of the last 10, including last year's nail-biter.
I had not realized that Morgan had won 8 of the last 10 versus Howard. Morgan, last year's game was a fantastic one. I mean, I think Howard just ran out of time, but the two schools are separated by less than 50 miles.
They move the pocket. Throw on the run is right on bullseye. Fisk.
Whoa.
And then he had it ripped away.
Give it to me.
Pried away by Craig Johnson, who returns it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, we're going to have to take a look. Did they mark forward progress or not? And it seemed as if an official was going to spot forward progress, and they stop. I think that's the key. And they're getting the ball to Fisk in space, and we talked about Johnson. Not only the big hit, he's on that ball right away. Yeah, that's a great play by Craig Johnson. You can make the argument that Fisk never even caught the ball, that it was an interception. He hits him, and ball's against him, and he's pulling right away. What a fantastic effort. And that's what Howard University needed. Somebody to step up and make the big play.
The It's the two-year starter and the junior coming up big for Howard. Simply an effort play there by Johnson, ripping the ball away from the smaller fist. And the Bison are on the scoreboard here midway through this second quarter. Oh, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Let's see if that can light a fire with Howard. The defense scoring the points. The Bison back in it.
In the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, we teach our student athletes how to run a play.
Ricky Fisk, who had the ball ripped away, lone return man for Morgan State. 6:45 to play, second quarter, and the Howard defense has put the Bison on the board as the kick hits the pylon, and it goes into the end zone for the touchback. Morgan State offense having their way for the most part in this first half. A couple of touchdown passes from Moses Skillon. Skillon 11 of 15 for 176 yards. Both touchdown passes going to his favorite target, Andrew King. Orlando Johnson got the offense started as he scored from 4 yards out early in the first quarter. And then you see the Howard 7 put up just a few moments ago.
There was no foul for a kicking team offside. The result of the play was a touchdown. First down and 25 for Morgan State. Correction, the result of the play was a touchback.
Lee Hole looking down at that play card, his selection card. Pretty much for the most part, what he has picked out is work. What does Howard need to do defensively to try to slow down the offense? We saw the takeaway.
And you come up with some more big plays, and you know, I think they have to realize if the defensive coordinator Ray Petty's going to call a blitz, you have to get to the quarterback. You have to know where he is. So they have to follow their assignment and do a better job of open field tackling. Outside of Johnson, the tackling has been spotty for Howard.
On the 25-yard line, they will try to get Lamont Brown going. He busted to the outside. Brown squares up the pads, takes it to the 32-yard line. Hit on the play by Jacob Bennett.
And we see the exact opposite, where we saw the great job that Scott has been doing for outside contain for Morgan State on defense. Howard University outside linebacker England does not do a good job with outside contain, takes a step too far to the inside, allowing Brown to pick up yardage around the outside.
Linebacking core depleted. No Devin Rollins this year for Howard. He's out with an injury. The MEAC's leading tackler a season ago, and that's just a huge blow in the middle of that defense.
That ball's loose.
Brown had it pop free, and it's picked up by Howard. Back-to-back turnovers as the Bison come away with it.
And I said the ball was loose before it actually got punched out.
Ruling on the field was a fumble.
Carrying the ball too far away from his body with the number of bodies around him.
Kenneth Russ, number 28.
Look where that ball is. I mean, it was out there ahead of time. A normal tackle was going to bring him down. Able to knock the ball out was Travis Brown, the linebacker. And Howard with consecutive fumble recoveries. They've been thoroughly outplayed so far in this first half. But the turnovers, if the offense can score some points, this becomes a football game in a hurry.
Those turnovers can be the ultimate equalizer, and Lee Hull's squad, after dominating the first half, opening up the door for possibilities for the Howard offense. And the Bison have went to a change at quarterback. Kalen Johnson, the freshman, in there. So Cunningham started the game, and now it's Kalen Johnson in his first series. He swings it out, nothing happening. Mercer, the catch, tackled immediately by Whitaker.
And I'm curious to see what Kalen Johnson can do. I mentioned as a freshman, he started his first 2 games versus Appalachian State and Boston College. Has not played since. I wonder if he plays down the level, back to his level at FCS football. The game may be slower to him now than what he saw in those first 2 games. He may turn into a very good quarterback.
Johnson's going to step up in the pocket, float it toward the sideline, and it is caught. Dangerous throw. Colvin with tremendous concentration as Deshaun Summers nearly had it.
And good job of pocket awareness. Step up in the pocket, keep the vision down the field, and on the run, throw a strike. And if that receiver, Colvin's able to stay in bounds, he could have ran for a number of yards after that catch.
I believe a timeout taken by Howard.
Timeout, Howard University. That's their second charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
That's a good timeout, I think. 3rd down and 2. Big play here coming up as they try to keep the momentum rolling. 5:12 to go in this first half. Don't forget, volleyball action is coming up Friday night, 6 p.m. ACC women's volleyball on ESPNU. The Blue Devils of Duke getting set to take on their rivals down the road, North Carolina. It's exclusively on ESPNU and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Duke and North Carolina ACC women's volleyball Friday night.
I'm sure they're rivals in all sports. Volleyball,
matter,
squash, debate,
bingo.
Rugby, yeah. But I'm really curious about this. When I talked to the offensive coordinator, Ted White, about Kalen Johnson, one thing we know, if you can slow down the game, you become a better player, particularly on offense, particularly the quarterback position, if the speed of the game is not too much for you. So he faced the toughest defense this team is going to see all season. Why not see if he plays a team in his conference, if that slower speed than what he's used to is enough to maybe allow him to be a very functional and good quarterback. So I'm very curious to see what this young man can do in this situation.
Howard has mustered only 14 yards on the ground. They'll try to pick up 2 more via the ground here, and they won't get it done. Donnell Pleasant is stuck. Summers coming in from his quarterback position, along with a lot of help, setting up a 4th down and a decision coming up here for Howard.
You go for it here. You got the ball on a turnover. 3rd and 2.
Here comes Fleck, the punter. Keep an eye out maybe for a possible fake here for Gary Harrell.
I'm sure Morgan is very cautious of them electing not to go for it here, so they're probably going to have their punt safe on. I don't even know if they made any adjustments. They're just going to watch. They're probably not going to bring a rush. That's punt safe return for them.
Fair catch signaled for by King, and a missed opportunity for Howard. So the Bison come off empty. Jay, let's get that right hand ready. Give me 5 with Morgan State.
All right, how about this? 5 Morgan State greats you must know. Raymond Chester, fantastic wide receiver, eligible for the NFL Hall of Fame. Some people think he should get in. He went to Morgan State. How about Lynn Ford? Went to Morgan State. Also transferred to University of Michigan, but started his career at Morgan State. Number 3, Leroy Kelly, one of the greatest running backs of all time. Number 2, Roosevelt Brown, offensive line extraordinaire. And number 1 is Willie Lanier. Ooh. Now on the bubbles, what you got to take a look at. Big House Gaines and Bob Wade. Tell you about those guys after this play.
2 tough guys to be on the bubble there. 1st down, Brown crashes ahead past the 20 up to the 21.
So when you put Big House Gaines, and people say, who's Big House Gaines? They probably didn't know he played football. He's one of the winningest Division II college basketball coaches in America. He played football at Morgan, and Bob Wade was the head basketball coach at the University of Maryland and legendary Dunbar High School in Baltimore City. He was a football player at Morgan State, so those are the gimme 5s that you have to know for Morgan State. And to cap it off, how often we go to a school where you mentioned the big 5 biggest names in their history? 4 of those 5 are in the National Football League Hall of Fame. I don't know how you top that.
Plus, you brought in basketball, the word basketball to the Give Me 5 for the first time.
Well,
Maryland,
Maryland, they play some hoops in Maryland. I live in the state of Maryland. We claim Kevin Durant and all these guys here. We got some ball players that come out of that area.
3rd down and short for the Morgan State Bears, and Brown will pick up the 1st down. There was some initial penetration. He had to kind of dodge a couple of bullets there, but he was able to scoot ahead. Brown eventually brings him down, but a 3rd down conversion.
And this is what you have to make the play. Number 92, Gafona and Dewey. Tackle for a loss right now. Make that tackle right there. Get the shoulder pads down. Make the tackle for a loss. Have them punt the football back to your offense. It's plays like that. When football teams aren't used to finalizing things and winning football games, they don't make those tackles, and that was a missed opportunity for another huge play. Give credit to our D coordinator Ray Petty again. He's putting the defense in position to make plays. They are not executing.
Saw Lamont Brown leave the game. Here's a deep shot downfield. Tight one-on-one coverage. Jump ball, and it's knocked away. Trevon Hunt, who had a couple of interceptions last week in the game against Hampton. Solid coverage on Ricky Fisk.
Not allowing Fisk to beat him on the deep ball. And that's just great coverage and good ball skills on the deflection. But I go back to, I'm still shocked that Howard elected to punt the football. 4th and 2. If you keep that drive alive, 1, you control the football, and 2, to make this a 1-score game at halftime, if you score a touchdown, considering how much they've been outplayed. Still scratching my head right now. They're on their heels, hoping that Morgan does not expand their lead.
Play clock down to 5. They run the draw. Johnson keeps his balance. He's actually thrown forward. Again, it's Idway with the penetration. He was able to hang on this time and finish the tackle. And a 3rd down for Morgan State. But let's remember, the Bears have made a living on 3rd down in this first half.
With the big plays, and they've really had success attacking the seams. Whether that's lining up Fisk at a slot receiver or Andrew King. And when they break the huddle, if I was Howard University, I would know what number 11 is. And right now, in the bottom half of your screen in the slot, going in motion.
Howard rushes 3. They send a delayed blitz down the middle. A one-hand attempt falls incomplete. There's a flag down. A marker down in the Morgan State backfield. They're looking for the tight end, Akinawa. Let's see what the flag is.
Shot block on the offense. That penalty is declined. Results of play is 4th down.
So this Howard defense resilient. They're giving up some yards, but they again give their offense an opportunity. The shot block, and Howard will get the football. Not a lot of time, just the 1 timeout left.
And we saw Marquise Blanchard go walking off the field. They've been hit by the injury bug on the defensive line in particular. If he's not able to return to this contest, that would be huge on an already thin, in terms of depth, defensive line for Howard.
They've only lost 4 starters. No Joseph Dillard, no Trey Hugabook, Damon Chisholm, Casaba, God's Power I4, all out with injuries. They've just been completely decimated on that defensive front wall. Couple of turnovers for Lee Hall and Morgan State, opening up some opportunities for this Howard defense.
Yeah, they were on cruise control with the 21-0 lead, and great job by Craig Johnson to rip the football from Fisk and give Howard their first points in this contest. And then the next possession, Lamont Brown not protecting the football, fumbling. That's given the Bison hope when it looked like Morgan State was going to completely run away with this football game early.
How aggressive do you play it here? 1:28, 1 timeout, plus you get the football to start the second half if you're Howard.
You've been struggling. I mean, let's be honest, this offense has been struggling. You try and score every opportunity you can.
Johnson's hit. He lost the ball. Still rolling free. And let's see.
Now, this is good old-fashioned. Who's been in the weight room? Who's going to get possession of this football? It seemed like 2 players had it. I thought Morgan had the edge, but Howard might have. And I think it's whoever comes out of that pile with that football. They're going to back everybody up.
It was Joel Scott again who delivered the boom. And Howard somehow ends up on top of the football. The preliminary indication from the official.
See, they're locked up pretty good. That's almost joint possession on the bottom of that pile. But not the ability to protect the quarterback.
They're still fighting.
I'm telling you, that should be, when it goes like that, it should be who has possession of the ball coming out.
Fumble recovered by the offensive team. Second down.
There's a lot of pulling going on there. Thought they blew that whistle a little bit premature, but obviously the official made the call, and Howard gets a second chance.
Give some credit to the freshman from Oakland, California, Jalen Avery, for keeping his nose in there, fighting, scratching, and clawing at the bottom of the pile. Not a pleasant place to be. Second down after the fumble, and this is Johnson straight up the middle. And he'll take it up ahead to the 48-yard line. Peterson Javier, the strong safety into the tackle.
Great vision here, great play call, but at the end of these runs, you almost feel like this young man's going to get hurt. I mean, he's absorbing those blows. He must get that pad level down. They are teeing off on him.
24 yards, plenty of time to throw, and he misfired. He had a man open. That was Mercer, but the throw behind him. One of those rare opportunities where the quarterback had some time to pick and choose for the Bison.
It went through his progressions, came back to his third read, and just did not deliver an accurate ball. I think for Howard, it's still a matter of who's the playmaker going to be. And from what we've seen earlier, I think it's number 6, Guy Lemoynier, the freshman from Florida. He's shown if you get him the ball, maybe you get him the ball in open space on some bubble screens and let him create some offense. He's at the bottom of your screen right now. I'd let him get a touch.
Pleasant flanks Johnson on the 2nd and 10. Johnson looking near side, throws, and it's knocked away. Perfect timing there from Dedrick Jones. He delivered the hit just as the ball arrived.
A little bit of a lazy route. This is something you can coach up as a freshman. He had great explosion, came out of his break a little bit lazy, and the defensive back was able to jump on it. So a little bit lazy, not anticipating the ball coming his way. Didn't get his head around quick. Took his time coming out of his break, and that allowed Dedrick Jones to break on the ball.
It's been a tough first half on 3rd down for the Bison. Just 1 of 7. They'd love to make it 2 of 8 here with 36 seconds to go. Somebody moved prematurely. Shot downfield looking for Colvin. Over his head, incomplete.
Offside, defense, number 92, 5 yards from the previous spot, 3rd down.
Second time that Mitchell's been caught in the neutral zone. Right idea there by Johnson. He knew he had a free play, and why not take a shot at Colvin?
And Colvin was the only receiver that realized it was going to be a free play to take advantage of it. Last week, Howard was hurt on 2 occasions by Hampton taking advantage of free plays.
Still with a timeout to work in 30 seconds. Johnson looks over at the Bison sideline. He starred for so many years at Pearland High School, part of that proud Oiler program in the heart of Texas. This is a killer. They got to use their 3rd and final timeout.
There was no foul for a delay of game. Howard University called their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
See the frustration on Gary the Flea Harrell there in his 4th year on that sideline.
When you lose that timeout, you become very limited in your play selection. If somebody's tackled in the field of play, probably can only get 1 more play off. So now, instead of trying to figure out ways to get into the end zone, you're very fortunate if you get a field goal attempt off. You need to pick up the yardage needed and then get your special teams unit out there. Mental error by the Bison.
We mentioned earlier, this is going to be a special year for the MEAC. The first ever, the inaugural Celebration Bowl, December 19th, inside the beautiful Georgia Dome in Atlanta. The MEAC, SWAC hooking up the 2 champions. So they forego the FCS playoffs. Now there still is the at-large possibility, Jay, for the teams in the MEAC to get into the playoffs. Do you like it overall?
I do. You know, I've grown to like it, become accustomed. I like the postseason playoff experience, but the fact that if you have 2 teams go 9-2, they both have an opportunity to continue to play in the postseason is a plus.
3rd down and 5. Nickel package in. They rush 3, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Avery. As we mentioned, Morgan State with the extra secondary personnel and no avenues for Johnson to throw.
And that's because they lost that timeout, 3rd down and 5. Instead of just picking up the 5 yards and getting the 1st down and maybe running out of bounds or having the ability to make somebody miss, they had to call a play downfield in order to get the catch and maybe get somebody in field goal position.
Ted White, the offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach for Howard. Learning process when you have youth, especially a youngster at quarterback, and that's what it's going to be for Howard. But they're hoping to take a page out of last year. You know, this is a program that finished really strong last year, winning their final 4 games. And They were hoping to get it started, cranked up a little bit sooner, but they're going to have to play catch up in this second half.
And I think, you see the performance of Howard University this season, the 2015 campaign, really makes me have more respect for Greg McGee and what he was able to do. Left there as the school's all-time leading passer, so many categories, kept them competitive in so many games. And you see right now, they're just dead without him. I mean, this offense is struggling.
I always said McGee had that it factor and a terrific quarterback in your day. You know what that it factor is. It goes beyond arm strength and some of those physical tangibles.
Yeah, he had the intangibles. I mean, probably, they always talk about how quarterbacks, it's Jay Walker, Ted White, Greg McGee. Clearly had the legs that beat all of us out, but I think it's those intangibles he doesn't get credit for. He probably took a team that should have been sub 500 his whole career and kept them competitive his 4 years as a quarterback for the Bison.
Been a couple of A-plus roommates. I hate to do this right now because you guys have been.
Big first half for Andrew King. 5 catches for King, 98 yards, the 2 touchdowns. If you're Lee Hull, what adjustments, if any, did you make at halftime?
You have to finish off. You have to finish off what you start. This is a game where they could easily have at least 28 points, maybe 35 points, but they turn the football over. And I think that's what you have to harp on. The defense has done a really good job, but offensively, this turnovers allowed Howard University to stay in this football game. It's still a young team, particularly on the offense side of the ball. Protect the football at all costs.
Mentioned the Howard offense really struggling, just 102 yards offense in that first half. Nowhere to go for Rodney Tyson. Special teams coverage by Morgan State. So here comes, we believe, Kalen Johnson. Jamie Cunningham started. Kalen Johnson took over the final 2 series for this Bison offense, and it will be Johnson out of Pearland, Texas.
And Johnson gets an opportunity to start off the half, get the ball in decent position. I don't know if he looked great, what we saw earlier, so he's just a freshman, so you say maybe he can settle down and make some plays for us in the second half.
Running back will be Donnell Pleasant, straight drop, and a throw and drop right through the hands of Miles Williams, a guy they really want to get more involved. He's a preseason all MEAC selection, 5th-year senior at tight end.
Good throw. I mean, it's good presence by Johnson in the pocket. You have your senior tight end crossing the formation. You throw the ball as a strike and he just drops it. When teams are winless, it's plays like that seem to happen on a regular basis.
No catches in the first half for Matthew Colvin either. Let's see if they try to get him going. The throw behind, but a nice adjustment made by Lemonier. Terrific grab by Guy Lemonier, the freshman from Miami.
And I think he can be a good one. We've seen him with the ability to make defenders miss after the catch. Great job of adjusting. Fine-tune some of his route running at the top of his routes. And he could be that special player that they're going to need to have a breakout season if they want to have any success at all.
So an early 3rd down, they run the draw to Pleasant, straight up the middle, 1st down yardage for the Bison. Gibson tracked him down, but not before Donnell Pleasant picks up the 1st down.
Howard University does this better than probably anybody in the conference. These draws and these little quick traps, they have more success with those type of plays than any other team. And offensive coordinator Ted White, between his little sprint draw that he does and his delay draw, really drives defensive coordinators bananas.
Boy, another drop pass. This time it's Avery. They play fake the draw you were just talking about, and a throw right on target. These receivers not helping the young quarterback.
And you can tell there's no cohesion. And I always say good offensive football, particularly passing game, it has a rhythm to it, on timing. As a receiver, you hit the last step of your route, you expect the football there. When you have delays and the timing is not there, it becomes sporadic football, and that's what we're seeing from Howard right now, very sporadic.
So what's that take, repetition after repetition?
Repetition after repetition, and intense practices.
Well, see, here comes a marker. You're a young quarterback. Let's get the call here.
False start, offense, number 8, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Let's go back to your younger days at Long Beach before arriving at Howard as a young freshman, sophomore quarterback. When you have receivers dropping passes and you're trying to find your groove, you're trying to find your comfort zone, how did you handle that as a young leader in that huddle?
you sometimes make smart comments, but you have to be careful about it because they're working hard too. They don't drop on purpose, but you kind of say, you want me to throw it and catch it too, because I can do that. And then you kind of loosen up the mood a little bit. But you work so hard during that summer. You throw, that you have that trust, and it won't happen again.
You say that to the receivers. You never use that comment to the big linemen, though, did you?
Oh, no. I've got your back.
Here's Pleasant trying to make the most out of not much. He pushes up near the original line of scrimmage, bringing up a 3rd and long.
We talk about how erratic this offense has been and how winless teams just seem to have bad things happen. On this drive alone, first drive of the second half, you want to get back in it. Drop ball by your senior tight end. Drop ball by your freshman wide receiver. Offsides penalty by your junior wide receiver. Who's next?
Johnson being chased will head toward the sideline, well shy of the first down. He was being pursued by Delonte Jennifer, the sophomore, good size product out of St. Francis Academy. Gary Harrell has seen this routine all too much through the first 4 weeks of this college football season. An offense that shoots itself in the foot, unable to just turn the corner with any type of consistency. And again, in case you're just joining us, no Aquanius Freeman. He's the go-to guy in that backfield, not in uniform tonight. Fair catch signaled for by King. Good kick for John Fleck. And the Morgan State offense is pretty solid in that first half, except for the 2 takeaways late. Andrew King, a couple of touchdown catches. Orlando Johnson put the Bears on the board early with a 4-yard strike. And then Craig Johnson for Howard, the only offense coming from the Bison defense. The fumble return. Solid first half for Moses Skillon, 12 of 18 for 181 yards. He looked good. 2 touchdowns.
He looked good, but you have to be careful about those 2, maybe 3 interceptions he could have thrown. I think you correct those points right there, because ball security is going to be the key throughout the season.
They will keep it on the ground to Orlando Johnson. Nowhere to go. Jalen Day, a linebacker, in on the stop. It's Day who has to kind of assume the responsibilities of Devin Rollins. Day is now responsible for getting the defense in the proper settings. He's responsible for the alignments and the calls. It's a big thing to ask, jumping in.
But you have to step up and make a play. And the good thing about when you take a look at Day is, he's got what you need. He's got the physical attributes to be able to play that position. Mentally, it's all about just getting repetitions, and you get better with the more reps that you get.
He was an outside linebacker last season, actually the past couple of years, moving inside with the injury to Rollins. 2nd down and 10. Skillon's going to throw, and he floats it too tall. He was looking for King again. And that'll set up a 3rd down. Looks like Skillon and King weren't on the same page. Ravon Hunt, the closest defender for Howard.
And that right there, you talk about linebacker play. Howard folks will know that's Keith Pugh, one of the school's all-time leading tacklers, All-American, several NFL teams working out. He's now a graduate assistant for Howard University. And if those players can just listen to him a little bit, they'll have great careers. Talk about a guy that knew Coach Petty's system inside out. I asked what was the decision to bring him on. He said he knew the defensive scheme better than Coach Petty, the D coordinator. How could we not?
Here comes a blitz up the middle. They pick it up on the drag, and a 1st down near the 30. Blitz came right up the gut. They picked it up, and King holds in his 6th catch of the night.
And that's great quarterbacking right there. If they want to blitz and you have to replace where the blitz came from, great job of getting the vacancy in the middle of the field by King, settling down in the hole, making the catch, and picking up the 1st down. That's a great job of offensive efficiency versus the blitz.
It's a tough matchup for Anglin, the linebacker, to try to keep up with the speed of Andrew King. A 3rd down conversion for Morgan State. Strong game for Skillon. Here he's going to roll right. He can run if he wants to, trying to pick up a downfield block from Banks. He does. There's a flag down in the vicinity of a hold, though. Maybe Banks got those hands up or around the jersey a little bit too much.
Holding, 27 offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
It is the 3-year player Banks, the guilty party.
See if we can get it. He's out trying to seal the edge. Arms a little wide. He got it tough. That's a good call. Yep. That's a good call. You know, they didn't call it initially when you had the wide arms, but you pull the jersey and they see that tug. It's an easy call, young fella.
So the penalty makes it 1st and 19. Oregon State has been able to overcome their mental mistakes on the offensive side of the football. They've had a number of 1st and 2nd and long situations where they picked up good yardage. Pointing case right here is Orlando Johnson over the left side, following Josh Miles and Cooper Clarkin.
And this is a great job by King not committing the clip. He's coming in, he doesn't have leverage on the guy. You're going to see him right there, just pull his hands off. Pull his hands off. That was Ricky Fisk. So often you would have seen him push the defender in the back and it would have been another 15-yard penalty. He just backed off it, and the running back Johnson realized that and put a quick move on him and picked up a good chunk of yardage.
I see why Ken Lucas and the rest of the coaches were high on this Johnson. He hits the hole. He does not waste any time. His small frame does not deter his ability to run in between the tackles. Excellent seal block there by the left tackle, Josh Miles, kind of collapsing the interior defense. Dangerous throw and a incomplete pass. They tried to float it to the tight end, Akinawa.
This is good coverage. This is good coverage by the defense. His mind's made up. I'm going here. I'm going here. I mean, look, he's underneath that throw. If you have to float a 5-yard out and put some air on it, go someplace else with the football, it's 2nd down. Run forward, pick up a yard, make it 3rd and 2 compared to 3rd and 3. And those are some of the things I think, you know, in the offense, you say they got confused with their pre-snap read. They stayed locked in where they were going with the football before it was snapped. And he's fortunate he got away with another poor decision.
3rd down and short. They bring the blitz again. They tried to swing it out. This time incomplete. Johnson, the intended target. Johnson on the defensive side for Howard, applying the heat.
They brought it, and Johnson's coming unblocked to the quarterback, forcing Skillon to get rid of the football. It has to be a little bit disappointing after the run by Orland Johnson. They were looking at 2nd and 3, 2 consecutive passes, 2 consecutive incompletions, and now they're punting the football away.
Let's give some credit to this Howard defense today.
That's been them. They bend but don't break. Versus Hampton, it looked like Hampton was going to run them off the field early. They gave their offense plenty of opportunities to win the game. I just think the offense hadn't stepped up, but they're going to have another opportunity when they get the ball.
Jalen Avery paid the price. Joel Scott, he's been headhunting all night here in Chicago.
Homeowner Protection Services can help save your home.
Howard offense needs to try to get something jump-started. Only 4 first downs in this game. They swing it out to the playmaker, Avery, and Jalen Avery gets good yardage. Again, trying to stay on schedule instead of always working from behind. We've seen them with those false starts and mental mistakes throughout the course of this game. Stay ahead of the chains, Jay, and that's a good start there.
Good job, and right now I think we're seeing Howard University football of the future right now. 4 freshmen at the skill position playing. Jalen Avery, the freshman. Limonier, the freshman. Pleasant, the backfield running back, the freshman. And the quarterback Johnson, the freshman. So it's an opportunity where the freshmen are getting an opportunity to show what they can do in a tough spot down by 14. But you'd like to think they'll continue to grow and get better, and maybe they can give you a spark.
And Al Pleasant, in relief of Freeman today, has ran the ball hard when given a chance. Picks up the first down. Kalen Johnson orchestrating the Howard offense. The delay again straight up the middle, and Pleasant's into the secondary. Pleasant carrying a defender with him all the way to the 20-yard line. 32 yards for Donnell Pleasant.
It was a draw. They have more success off draws than any team I've seen. You know it's coming, but they do such a good job of it, and it's the element of surprise, and it's just that gift of knowing when to call it, where that's a play that could be a huge loss with a big pass rush. But instead, they call in the right situations and they pick up big chunks of yardage every time they run that play, it seems.
Traditional I formation, second back through. It's Pleasant again into the second wave, upended by Peterson Javier. But a good surge over that right side, and this offensive line building some momentum.
Good job, get to the second level. Ran through the arm tackle of Gibson. Still like to see that young man get those shoulder pads low. Still runs too high for comfort.
Speedster Rodney Tyson is checked in. He's a good receiver out of the backfield, but Johnson got him too far that time, incomplete. Rushed it just a little, it looked like.
Designed all the way to be a swing pass with a entourage of blockers out front. So Kalen Johnson needs to just settle down, make a catchable throw. So often young quarterbacks want to show off arm strength. Every throw is a fastball. You have to have the ability to throw the changeup too. Off speed, make it easier to catch.
See if they follow the right tackle. Torrey Boyd, the leader. It's an empty backfield, and here comes a flag.
False start, offense, number 8, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Unbelievable. It's just all too familiar pattern for Howard here this season.
That's Mercer's second penalty of the second half. And those are all mental errors. Those are the type of penalties where, lining up, knowing the snap count, that's a mental error if you make that type of penalty.
You have 2 cracks to get 2 yards. Now all of a sudden, you're looking at 3rd and 7. Who will make a play for the Bison? They're going to switch sets here. They'll bring both Avery and Lemonier to the left. They overload that top of the screen on this 3rd down play. Johnson looked that way initially. Flush from the pocket, and he's forced to throw it away. Scott again coming in with
There's no foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback was outside of the pocket, and the ball went beyond the line of scrimmage. 4th down.
Do you take the 3 here?
Always. You take 3 points. You may get another situation where you get the 3 points, and then you're down by 8. Then you can go for the 2-point conversion. But if you don't convert right now, you're still down by those 2 touchdowns.
How about this? They're lining up as if they're going to go for it. Maybe just a decoy here to try to get some movement.
False start, offense, number 87, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Situation there with the hard count. You're trying to get the defense to jump off sides, and Miles Williams could not get the count correct. And now it becomes a little bit more of a difficult field goal for John Fleck.
They had the drive going. They were moving the ball, and that draw, that little trap draw they do. Then Simpson, incomplete penalty, incomplete penalty. Now field goal attempt.
40-yard attempt for John Fleck. He missed earlier tonight. This one is up, it's center, and it's through. And the Bison get 3 from their reliable senior, John Fleck. Some of the sights and sounds of the 18th annual Chicago Football Classic. Started by a trio of businessmen back in 1997. This game helps raise money for a number of charities throughout the area. Catholic Charities, Operation Push, the United Negro College Foundation. It all started yesterday with a golf outing. Preview of the Battle of the Bands yesterday at Daly Plaza. Took some time to honor Tom Ricketts for all that he does here in the Chicago area. So it's a great 2 days. The HBCUs to come together and celebrate all that is taking place, not just here in the Windy City, but all across this great country.
And my first time at this classic, it's been here for 18 years, and impressed. They do a good tailgate outside, which is always gets brownie points in my book. Give the folks here in the Midwest an opportunity to experience some HBCU football.
This was originally supposed to be played out in New York City. It was canceled back in April, so it was kind of a late schedule to get the MEAC here, but they were tickle pink to have the conference represented. The stakes even higher with a conference game here in Chicago.
And it's, I don't want to brag, but it's my alma mater, Howard University. We're America's black college. We have alumni everywhere, but very impressed with the job Morgan State has done with their Maryland contingent coming out in their alumni base. It's really been a first-class event and a good time had by all.
Orlando Johnson with good yardage. He picks up 9, tracked down by Jalen Day.
And that's the difference I think we're seeing with Morgan State. They have to attack the perimeter now. They have to run outside. You know, I've watched it enough for about 3 quarters. They are really missing the offensive line play that they had from a season ago. The 2 freshmen they have are not winning their battles at the line of scrimmage. But last year, Morgan could line up in that pistol and ram the ball down your throat, whether you like it or not. They were going to do that. They can't do it this year. Short yardage, obvious run situations, they're losing the battles at the line of scrimmage.
Second and short, stutter move there by Johnson, but no room. There was penetration.
Yeah, and that's what it is. The interior line play is just not there. And I think the freshman guards really have to grow up. That's Clarkin and Allen. They have to grow up, and they have to learn how to blast somebody off the line of scrimmage. And you look at their left tackle, number 66. He's 6'6", 290. Josh Miles with that great size there. He can win his battle. He's got the size and mobility to do it. So when they've had success running the ball, it's been running outside the tackle where Joshua Miles can have an impact on the game. But you don't want to rely on running off tackle. You want to rely on having the ability to run in between the tackles.
Just shy of the first down, so 3rd and short. Little pitch to Johnson again. Good pursuit by Howard, and they're going to be shy of the first down. Jalen Day was the first one to torpedo his way through, and the Bison defense, it appears, forcing a 4th down.
Yeah, when you can't run up center, they're doing a run blitz up the A-gap, knowing they're going to run the ball to the outside. It's good penetration by Morgan, and I don't agree with this decision now. They're getting the emotion kind of. They're frustrated as an offense because they're stuck on 21 points. But your defense is playing so well. Howard hasn't scored only a field goal. You punt the ball away and give your defense a chance to give you better field position. I think this is an emotional decision. Let's see if it pays off.
Big play late in this 3rd quarter. 4th and a yard. And it's a quarterback keeper, and using the 6'5" frame, Skillen lunges ahead and should have enough.
It was close. It wasn't there, but I was wondering earlier why they would not use their big 6'5" quarterback for their interior run. They were able to get it by a yard. But that was close. So not much of a crease. A little bit of a takedown there by Adrian Allen, not allowing the linebacker Travis Brown to come up and make a tackle. I think that's more emotion and his frustration on behalf of Coach Lee Hole, who's also the offensive coordinator, because that's not a situation where you go for it.
Risky maneuver right there, but it pays off. The Bears have it, and now Skillen wanted to go deep, somehow keeps his balance and breaks onto the Howard side. He can run, finally tripped up at the 42. DeAndre Price with the tackle, the flag thrown late. Like a couple of 3 different flags out there.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 2, 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Tricky fist. Lots of times that will happen. You get a scramble situation. Defender turns
down,
the back.
1st down.
Good job showing the mobility. Good to the outside. And right here trying to set up the block and pushed him in the back. The play was going to end there anyway. Instead, moves them back. They lose some field position, but seems like it's still a 1st down.
Yeah, DeAndre Price, who was blocked there by Fisk, was still able to make the tackle. Good athletic play by the senior in the secondary for the Bison. So Morgan State, 1st and 7 from the 47. They give it to Johnson. He is twisted down at the line of scrimmage. Jalen Day playing well, coming through with the stop.
Well, let's take a look. If you're going to get in the pistol offense, you have to be able to run that ball at the left guard. They're calling it number 75. Let's see if you win the battle. 75, you win, you win. It wasn't 75 that got beat. is the other guard, Adrian Allen, number 59, allowing his man to come off the ball from the right guard position to make a tackle on the left side. We've called Adrian Allen's name a couple of times today, and they haven't been for good plays.
3 seniors lost, 3 starters lost to graduation for Morgan State on that offensive front line. Pass in and out of the hands of the receiver. Setting up a 3rd down and 4. Jacob Bennett with the coverage. Now, Morgan State had a lot of rhythm offensively for the first 19, 20 minutes of this football game, but they are laboring a little bit here.
Yep. Very fortunate to get the first down if they just got. They had to go for it on 4th down. And they've had some drops. I mentioned it before. I think Skillon has gotten away with a couple of poor decisions in the passing game. I think it all stems from when you don't have the ability to run the ball in between the tackles and you're forced to do everything on the perimeter, you almost become one-dimensional.
See if they go to King here. Here comes the blitz. King trying to set up a screen. They get it to him, but he is tackled immediately at the line of scrimmage. Terrific job by Tommy Boozer, one of the interior linemen, holding his ground, reading the screen.
They get empty formation, and he's just looking. It's almost his own blitz, and they could have called a hold there on Dominic Woods, number 54, the center, but great job of recognition by Boozer. He saw it, he recognized it. He's the reason why Morgan is forced to punt now.
Avery awaits the punt. Howard slowly clawing their way back into this Chicago Classic. See the running approach by Moeller. Goes the opposite way over the head of Avery. A beauty of a kick inside the 5, inside the 3, down to the 2. Howard will have it deep in their own end when we come back.
You're wild.
For the offset eye, Johnson's going to throw from the end zone. He wants the deep ball, lots of contact, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Summers, and the Morgan State defense gets the football right back.
And you're taught one of those things that I'm sure Ted White was thinking about. 40-yard interception just like a punt, but you want it to be a 50-yard interception. You taught hold the ball a split second longer. That easily could have been offensive pass interference. Great ball skills shown by the defensive back, Deshaun Summers, with recognition, the senior from Hampton, Virginia. But during that break, you and I, we took notice how Coach Harrell went over to the defense and said, good job, good job. The defense has been doing their job, kind of bend but not break, giving the offense opportunities to get back in the game. The offensive production hasn't been there, and now the defense faces another tough situation.
Skillon's going to throw down the seam, tipped away at the last second. Good play by Kenneth Russ. He's the most experienced in the Howard secondary.
You know what you're starting to see? This defense is starting to thrive off of it. They're starting to say, hey, it's us against Morgan. We can't count on our offense. Defense, let's go out here and let's make a play. And the defense has really picked up their intensity. After giving up 21 points in a hurry, they've really started to show their will and start winning some of these battles against the Morgan State offense.
See if the Bears can take advantage of the 8th career interception from Deshaun Summers. Been a steady D-back for the Bears through the years. They get it to Brown, who has the corner. He has the sideline. A foot race to the 5. And they're going to say he stepped out of bounds back at the 14-yard line. 22 yards in the gallop by Lamont Brown.
You always give credit to the offensive line, but watch Ricky Fisk, the wide receiver, come in from your left side. It's this block right here that allows him, the running back, to get to the outside. That's the block that sprung at another great downfield block by Andrew King, but it was Fisk sealing the edge. He actually stepped out of bounds right there on about the 15-yard line. And you wonder, because Brown had so much room over there. Why was he so close to the sideline? But great job of blocking by Fisk and Andrew King to really spring Brown on that play.
Brown was Morgan State's leading rusher 2 years ago in 2013. We talked about the knee injury sustained last year in the season opener against Eastern Michigan. Here's Skillon trying to get to the outside. He'll get 5 tough yards. Gang tackling led by Marquise Blanchard.
Another stop here by Howard would be huge by this defense. If you limit them to a field goal attempt, and if they make it, you're still only down by 14 points. So the Bison need to dig deep.
If you're Morgan State, don't you move the pocket here, though, with Skillon's running ability this part of the field?
If you're going to throw it, I think so. You're losing the battles on the inside portion. Give them a run-pass option. But,
False start, offense, number 59, 5-yard penalty, second down.
As they move backwards, take a look. Battle of the Bay. Norfolk knocked off Hampton. The winless Norfolk State knocked off Hampton. Team that beat Howard a week ago, and look at that. Surprise, surprise. Congratulations. Coach Scott getting his first victory down there for Behold the Green and Gold.
I had a chance to call the game with Rutgers for Norfolk State to start the year. Coach Scott's going to get some things done there, no doubt about it. They always have had a terrific defense. Now it's trying to get that offense to evolve and catch up to speed.
Yeah,
that'll be the final play of this third quarter in a defensive battle. The two defenses dominating over the last 15 minutes. Howard's in this as Morgan State marches to the fourth, leading by 11.
Chiefs, Packers at 8:15, Monday on ESPN.
For the student athletes of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, it doesn't matter which sport they play, because our 13 member institutions share a conference-wide commitment to empowering student athletes in every sport, preparing them to excel on and off the field. In the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, diversity brings us together, and adversity gives.
This is the time of the year you want to be on the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan. An absolutely fantastic day here in Chicago on third down. Morgan State comes up empty. They were looking to get it to Johnson out of the backfield, but coverage from Jacob Bennett.
Yeah, and Coach Petty's figured out a blitz package where he can get to the quarterback, bring in Johnson from the secondary, untouched to the quarterback, forcing Skillon to release the football early. Another stand by Howard's defense. Bend but don't break.
It's not been a real strong start this year for Chris Moeller. He's missed a couple of chip shots in the previous two games, 0 for 2 on the season. This one from 29 yards. Placement is down on a low snap. Kick is up, and he's 0 for 3 on the season. And the heart still beats for Howard.
Defense forces him to go for a field goal attempt. He just misses it. Great job again by the defense.
I mean, you talk about a game that has done a complete 360. This thing looked like it was going to be a whitewash after 15 minutes.
It all goes down to the offense hurt themselves. They were up 21-0, driving with the football, big completion and fumble. So instead of 28-0, which teams almost give up when you get down by that amount, it became 21-7, and then the defense started raising their level of intensity for Howard University. Morgan's been off track and can't get back on.
Oh boy, Joel Scott ran right on by the quarterback. Tough running by Kalen Johnson. It was like a bull let loose into a pit. Scott had his head down and he went flying right by the quarterback and the running back. See the mistakes made by the Bison offensively prior to that last carry. The 5-yard penalties, the interception deep in their own end. Trying to get something started here. Johnson dancing, looking downfield, throws and has his man. Avery with the catch, spins away from a couple of tacklers. Avery to the 37-yard line.
And the young freshman are trying to make some plays. This was a phenomenal throw by Kalen Johnson. I didn't know if he had enough arm strength to complete the ball going to his left, almost 20 yards downfield. He can't completely square into it. Has enough arm strength to get rid of that football. And what a job by Jalen Avery picking up more yards after the catch.
33 yards in the completion. They swing it out to the hot hand Avery on a screen. He gets 6 more yards. Peterson, Javier, the stop.
Right now, while Morgan is reeling, they're looking to the sideline. I think this is when Ted White, the offensive coordinator, should step on the gas pedal. Tempo, 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 and I continue to get the ball to Jalen Avery.
Johnson taking his time, quick throw. They get it to Avery for the 3rd straight play. Good one-on-one tackle made by Cravon Rogers in open space. Sets up a manageable 3rd down for the Bison.
Get the ball to the playmakers that making plays. Avery showed you plenty of heart on the play prior to that. Now we're starting to see the freshmen grow up and make plays. A good sign for Howard University.
They brought in the blocking back here. That's Casey Branton out of the I. Donnell Pleasant, the tailback. And it will be Pleasant following the lead block. He'll pick up the 1st down. Barrels ahead, snowed under at the 23-yard line. Javier and Gaynor. We haven't called a lot of Mike Gaynor tonight, the highly touted freshman for this Morgan State defense.
When you get in a short yardage situation, you need a yard, run behind your best offensive lineman, right tackle Torrey Boyd. Won this one-on-one battle, allowed Pleasant to pick up the 1st down.
1st and 10, they swing it to Pleasant, and not much room. Deshaun Summers from his quarterback spot, closing in. This drive has been all about Jalen Avery. 5 catches, 54 yards. Both career highs, just starting his career for the Bison all the way from Oakland, California. 2nd and 11. Johnson had initial time. Now the pocket collapses, and so does he. Jai Franklin, the transfer from Old Dominion, with the sack.
Able to get in, but I didn't think there was a lot of pressure. He could have waited. Settle. Looking to run. I thought he could have settled in the pocket a little bit more. Freshman mistake. Have more time than he needed, and probably should have rolled out of the pocket rather than step up to a headache.
3 tackles and a tackle for loss last season for Franklin, the FBS program from Old Dominion. He was a transfer his 1st year with Morgan State. Good athletic body, a sophomore, 280 pounds.
Now you have to think game management here. You can't afford to take a sack. Incomplete pass, you're looking at about a 40-yard field goal. Take a sack that probably comes out of flex range.
3rd down. Johnson has time. Now gets happy feet. Throws a dart to the 12. 1st down for the Bison. They go to Matthew Colvin for the 1st time tonight.
And it was good protection. You see the freshman Johnson is just looking downfield, going through all of his reads. Nothing there initially, but good job of coming to your quarterback's line of vision. Colvin makes the catch.
See that clock, inside 10.5 to go. Johnson fakes, he's going to try to run it. And a good one-on-one tackle by Jones. Not allowing Johnson to get to the outside, he held his ground.
And I anticipate defensive coordinator Mike Fanoga is going to give blitz after blitz on these next 2 downs. He's going to test the freshman quarterback's blocking awareness. Look for him to bring heavy pressure.
What do you counter with if you're Ted White?
You set him up, maybe you give him something misdirection.
2-step drop, out pattern, too tall. Looking for Avery again, 3rd down. Jones with the coverage.
In anticipation of bringing pressure, the one thing that beats blitzes is crossing routes. If you're running crossing routes, you can hit a guy in stride. It can be a simple 3-yard throw that turns into a touchdown grab. So you want to have a built-in hot route to maybe replace where the blitzing linebackers are coming from. That box is real crowded. Right now, you think Howard is crowding the box mostly for pass protection. So we're looking for some one-on-one routes.
That's Avery in motion. Play fake by Kalen Johnson. Rolling left, giving some ground, being pursued by Jennifer, and he throws it away, incomplete. Nicely done by Morgan State, buckling down And Howard's going to have to settle for 3. It's a big 3 to try to get this thing down to 1 possession.
Roll with play action. Didn't fool anybody from Morgan State. Great job of pursuit by Delonte Jennifer, number 90, forcing Johnson to throw the ball away. See if there's any way to go with this football. Pretty good coverage by the secondary of Morgan State.
John Fleck is connected from 40 today. This one officially from 29 yards. Avery with the placement. Kick on the way. An all-important 3 on the board for Howard. The Bison cut it down to a 1-possession game as we head to the wire here in Chicago.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's.
That's one of the things when you come to this part of the country here in Chicago. Great big Ferris wheel greeting folks as they come in off the lake. Get a good look at it, Jay. They're building a bigger one. Going to be closed here in a couple of days. Big fireworks show, a big send-off late tomorrow. Free rides after 10 o'clock, and then a bigger, better Ferris wheel here in Chicago.
I don't care how big they build it. I'm scared of heights. I'm not getting on it.
You're not getting on that? No. You'd be one of those guys that gets stuck at the top as they continue to carousel around, letting other people on at the bottom, and you don't move. You just stay in that one spot. Beautiful scenic view. Not happening.
I like the view from my 6 feet 4 inches off the ground.
Wobbly kick picked up near the goal line. Orlando Johnson, not much room. He takes it out past the 20 up to the 22-yard line. Don't forget, women's college volleyball is coming up. It's Tuesday at 9 o'clock on ESPNU. Loyola Marymount off to handle rather easily by Michigan. How about that?
Is it too early to call them the Fighting Hardballs? Wow. I know they used to call the Stanford football team that.
Impressive win for the Wolverines today. After a red-hot start, Moses Skillon has cooled off a little bit. Just 14 of 26. He's completed only 1 of his last 5 passes. Try to get something started on the ground over the left side. 4 yards for Lamont Brown. Tommy Boozer in on another stop.
Hell, this game is so similar to last year. It seemed as if Greg McGee was bringing back Howard University and they just ran out of time. Well, in this case now, Morgan State once again had the lead early. Howard found a way to finally make this a 1-score ball game. Can the offense produce?
See if they get the ball back into Andrew King's hands. Good things happened in the first half when number 11 touched it. Going to keep it on the ground to Johnson, trying to stretch the defense, but that speed, the pursuit by Howard, impressive as nowhere to go for the speedster Johnston, setting up a 3rd down. Elijah England in on the tackle, and we have an injury. Johnson still down on the turf for Morgan State.
He's moving around like he's in some pain. What has happened is Howard has made Morgan State one-dimensional. Morgan's given up on the interior running game because they lost control of the line of scrimmage. Quite simply, the interior lineman for Morgan State could not get the job done, forcing them to give Orlando Johnson more carries, and you know he's a guy that's going to run on the edge.
Last year was such a big season for this Bears program. The job that Lee Hull pulled off in his first season, the MEAC Coach of the Year. He was a finalist for the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award. Led the Bears to their first winning season since 2009. This was a program that at one time was one of the more dominant programs in the country. Over 170 wins in a 30-year period back in the former CIAA days. Edward Hurton Company leading them to 14 CIAA titles. Right guy for the job, bringing immediate success, Lee Hull, but he hates to see this from one of his younger backs, Orlando Johnson, go down. Not sure where the injury occurred there.
It seems like on the bottom of the pile. He's 5'8", 165 pounds, and you have over 400 pounds on your back. Seems as if he got twisted the wrong way. Let's hope it's nothing major. Every time Morgan State has gone to this empty personnel, Howard has brought pressure. Do they continue to bring the blitz, or do they play traditional zone?
Here they come. Skillon throws, and it's incomplete. Had to get rid of it before he wanted to. Ibrahima Kibe put the heat on.
You know they're going to bring pressure. They've been doing it all along. And this one here, one-on-one route, had to get rid of the football before the tight end could come out of his break. See, every time they see empty backfield, they're going to a blitz. All-out blitz, one-on-one, trying to get to the quarterback. He forced it a little bit too soon, didn't make the catch. And did you think we'd be at this position?
I did not.
In the first quarter when it was 21-0?
I'll be honest, no way. Unbelievable turn of circumstances here, and the resiliency of the Howard defense. Kibe on that last play, putting the heat on the quarterback. All of a sudden, the very active punter, Chris Moeller, gets a line drive kick away. Avery's made play after play tonight, looking to make one more and a solid return. 15 yards, he takes it out to the 47-yard line. Good starting position for the Bison. Coming up Friday night at 6 p.m., ACC Women's Volleyball on ESPNU as Duke takes on rival North Carolina exclusively on ESPNU and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Alongside Jay Walker, Sean Kinney with you back here at Soldier Field on what becomes a critical drive for this Howard offense. 8:10 to go, down 8.
And the offense has to figure out a way to do something. They scored 13 points, but the defense scored 7. So this offense has only scored 6 points in this ball game. 2 field goals. They need to figure out a way to put a touchdown because the defense has done a phenomenal job.
Timeout taken. Jay, you have one more 5 in you. Give me 5. One more time.
Well, we saw the Morgan State give me 5, right? And there's no way that I went to Howard. We can't compete with that Morgan 5 with the 5 Hall of Famers. But what we can do is tell you about Hollywood impact players. Stan Verrett, ESPN announcer. He's a Howard guy. Debbie Allen, Felicia Rashad. You know, those are the sisters. I'm not going to pick who's ahead. Chadwick Boseman from 42 fame. How about Anthony Anderson? And number 1, I'll let you know after this play.
Deep drop. Johnson has a man open. That is his running back, Pleasant. Gets up near midfield, 4 yards.
So we know Anthony Anderson's hot right now, but number 1, you know who's hotter than Anthony Anderson right now in terms of Hollywood? She was on the yard when I was there. Taraji P. Henson went to Howard, and on the bubble, how about these names? We got Diddy, Lynn Whitfield, and one of my mentors in this business, Gus Johnson. So can't beat you on the field, but we'll beat you on the screen.
So that's a Hollywood 8 right there. A screenplay as they go to Pleasant, who's caught from behind, kept the legs churning. Peterson Javier hit him pretty hard there, but tell you what, this Pleasant has one gear, and that is fast. Full throttle. He doesn't slow down a bit.
And he's not afraid of contact, so he's not putting moves on you. But they still need to find a way to get the ball in the end zone.
Pick up the first down. They take it to the Morgan State side. Johnson looking to go through the air, being pursued. Here comes a flag, a hold up front.
There was no foul for intentional ground. The quarterback was out of the pocket, holding, offense, 10 yards from the previous spot, first down.
A.J. Agabalis had penetration that time from his right end position for Morgan State.
And you see the Howard folks, they want to know who to call holding on. That's something they're pretty specific on. What number is that on? And normally when you leave the pocket, you can look for that Story Bold. He's got some jersey 78.
Saw that number 9 and 0 of Delonte Jennifer get stretched a little bit.
And that's on Deontay Allen Wright. Good blocking, but when the quarterback leaves, as offensive lineman, your back is to the quarterback. You don't know which direction he is. And
timeout. Howard University. That's their first charge. Timeout.
The Bison are going to use a timeout. With 7:11 to go here in the Chicago Classic. Howard, can they mount the rally? We're about to find out.
Sunday Night Baseball, Pirates, Cubs at 8. September rules on ESPN.
Courtyard is the official hotel of Super Bowl 50. So what have you got? That's the next level.
All right, let's take a look at what inspired that timeout call. You see number 78 sitting your screen. The hold was called on him. A number wasn't given. Quarterback leaves the pocket. And you're going to see as he gets away, he's grabbing the jersey. He's holding on. That's where the flag came in. Coach Harrell upper right during that timeout, all he wanted to talk about, give me an explanation on that holding call there. He realized the stakes of the game at this point, and he wanted to get something off his chest. That's something they'll be talking about, but ultimately, as we saw, it was the right call to make.
9 penalties for 65 yards for the Bison. Little change of direction to Pleasant. Hurdles the pile up ahead to the 42-yard line. Right into the arms of Mike Gaynor.
That's that sprint draw. I told you they do the trap draw, and then they do the sprint draw. And I know defenses, they plan for it all week long, but every time they call it, they seem to gain positive yards, pick up another 10 yards.
Play fake, Johnson looking to go up top, checking his progressions. He's caught, he's sacked. Back at the 50, Andrew Mitchell one more time. The end coming through from Memphis, Tennessee.
I'm not a big fan of quarterbacks always leaving the pocket, but tell me, how many yards does he take if he takes off right now to the right? Take off to the right. Nobody out in front of him. Nobody. You get a seal block. That could have been a huge play, but Johnson stayed in the pocket too long, and it becomes a huge sack.
Mitchell's a 3-year player for the Bears. Returning starter, gets a critical sack late in this game. 3rd and a mile for the Bison, who have struggled on 3rd down, 4 of 14 tonight. Johnson steps up, looks, and he missed his intended target. He was looking for Avery. It would have been shy of a 1st down. Cravon Rogers with the coverage, and Howard will send out Fleck to punt. A holding call, and then the sack by Mitchell stymies the Bison drive.
It's time for Morgan to go for a punt block here.
Fleck, good, high kick. Fair catch signaled for by King, and he'll haul it in at the 11-yard line. 39-yard punt. Coming up Sunday from 8 o'clock until noon, ESPNU brings you College Football Sunday. From Heisman hopefuls to championship contenders, College Football Sunday is the only show that ranks them all exclusively on ESPNU and watch ESPN. Certainly some big games all across the country today. Maybe the weekend to put a little bit of focus on the Pac-12, some key matchups out west.
Out west, I love Pac-12 because I love quarterback play. They've got some of the best quarterbacks in the country. That Josh Rosen trying to take the college football world by storm. Impressive performance, the freshman phenom, starting for UCLA. But Lee Solomon been around the block a couple times.
From the 11-yard line, straight up the middle they go. 5 yards on the dive. Orlando Johnson, good to see him back out there. He was banged up on that last series. So Morgan State with 5 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock, leading by 8.
We never thought we'd get to this point, but this Howard defense is really, they've risen to the occasion. They picked up their level of intensity. And you have to start saying, can they pull it off one more time, forcing Morgan State to punt the football and give their offense another chance to try to tie up this football game. But I think, if all else, for the Howard faithful out there, the Bison has shown they've got no quitting in them. They've been on the field for a number of plays. That man right there who we put in our spotlight and our open for the impact player, Craig Johnson, he's been all over the field today. The type of performance we knew he would have to have if Howard was going to have any chance of victory.
And now an opportunity for this young offensive line. 2 true freshmen in there, 3 first-year starters. Maybe a chance to turn the page back to last year and play the type of football that earned Morgan State the MEAC championship. Power football, they're going to have a chance to do that as Johnson sprints straight up the middle over the left side. Cooper Clarkin has played a very good game at left guard, number 75. And from this angle, it looks like they should have enough. And it is a first down. Every first down precious here for the Bears as they watch that clock continue to wind down.
When I played for the New England Patriots, head coach is Bill Parcells. You know what Bill Parcells focused on more than anything else during the week? 4-minute football. If we can get you in a position to win a game with 4 minutes, whether you're down by 3 or you're up by 6, the last 4 minutes in the NFL are so important. That's the same thing in the college football ranks. Morgan State's holding on to a lead by 8. It's 4 minutes, smash mouth football. Dial up your best run plays, eat some clock, control the tempo, and try and get out of here with a victory.
Skillon will wisely use all of the play clock. You see it in the lower right-hand corner. Take the snap inside 5 seconds to go. Lamont Brown is gobbled up in the backfield. Big time hit by Marquise Blanchard.
How does that happen? Blanchard's going to come from the left side of your screen unblocked. That's just a mental error. You can't leave the most dangerous man on the end line of scrimmage unblocked. Huge tackle for a loss. After a play like that, you may want to consider taking a timeout if you're Howard. I wouldn't allow these extra 35 seconds to tick off.
Yeah, that was my next question. When do you start utilizing those?
Yeah, I think you should have taken one there.
2nd and long after the loss, and the tackle for loss from Marquise Blanchard. Skillon is going to throw, and he fires a strike up to the 31-yard line. About 2 yards shy of a first down. It's Grayling Harrison, who had a big catch earlier in this football game.
Timeout, Howard University. That's that second charge timeout of the half.
And the Bison will use their second timeout for this 3rd and 1. 3rd and short coming up. Morgan State trying to fend off this Bison rally. Short yardage situation when we return. Jay Walker, you don't like the timeout selection from Gary Harrell there.
I think you take the timeout when you have him at 2nd and 15, not 3rd and 1. You're going to need that timeout. You need to make a stop, but I don't understand why you take it now in that situation. I thought you should have taken the play earlier and saved those 40 seconds.
Play of the game right here. Morgan State looking for the first down. 3rd and short. 3rd and a long yard. That's King in motion. They're going to move the pocket and throw the football. And King,
what a catch,
makes the catch. He was able to get a foot in. And a huge 3rd down conversion. How about the gutsy call by Morgan State?
I don't know why you throw, but they go to the senior. Clearly catches the football, gets it in play. Andrew King's played a great football game. Got the left foot down. Ball sailed on him, but this is clearly a catch. That's why I'm in the booth. I wouldn't throw the ball. I would have run the football. Your quarterback is 6'5", and he weighs 230 pounds. You need a yard, yard and a half. High risk, high reward.
So who does Morgan State go to in the clutch? In the heat of the moment, their seasoned veteran, the preseason All-MEAC wide receiver from Columbia, Maryland, Andrew King. His 7th catch of the night. A couple of touchdown grabs, but none bigger than that one as it keeps the clock moving. Inside 2 to go here in the 4th quarter. Skillon had everybody faked on the read. He'll keep it, take it out past the 40, up to the 45-yard line. Boy, he had Howard defenders still turned facing the running back as he cut to that left side.
Great ball skills there, pulling the ball out. Now Howard University realizing they only have 1 timeout left. You have to think if the defense were to make a stop on this play, they would call it, but Morgan's content taking their time.
Timeout, Howard University. That's their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Gary Harrell knows his team looking at an uphill battle here as they use their 3rd and final timeout. Trailing by 8, 2nd and 1 when play resumes. Time now, let's look at today's AT&T strong performance. And no surprise here, we just saw him a few moments ago, Andrew King from Morgan State.
Got off to a great start with the 2 early touchdown receptions. which really gave them the lead that they've been holding on to for dear life. With great individual effort, played a fantastic game, but just to cap it all off, what do you do on third down? Your team needed a play to seal this bad baby. Oh, make the catch, get the foot down. Now they're just milking the clock as Morgan seems like they're headed to a victory on their way back to Baltimore, Maryland.
King entered with 8 catches in the first 2 games. Again, last week's win against Lynchburg did not count toward his official statistics. 7 receptions for number 11. Skill in his quarterback, 15 of 29. 211 yards and the 2 touchdowns to the senior wideout. Second and a yard from the pistol. This is Johnson. He won't get there. He'll keep the clock moving, but again, Howard cannot stop.
It doesn't matter.
Timeout, Howard University. That last charge timeout was their second timeout. This is their third and final timeout. 30-second timeout.
Well, you do the math, Jay. Howard used the timeout on that holding call.
Yes.
Earlier.
Yep. Then they used a timeout on the 3rd and 1 before he went to break. And we know they used a timeout before that completion on 3rd down. And they're getting another timeout right now. I wonder if they might have, I don't know, no, there was a timeout called on that holding call. I mean, that was clearly a timeout. I was trying to think, that's the only one that would be in question.
Right. Well, the point is they get the timeout, they stop the clock. So Howard, the 3rd down and a long 2.
I'll take a knee. I wouldn't even risk going for it.
Skillon will keep it. Trying to get to the right side. He's catapulted up in the air, knocked down. Looks like right at the line for the first down. Jacob Bennett came in.
Yeah, they're going to mark him a little bit short. And that's why I wouldn't risk necessarily going for it if your quarterback has been your run game. He gets airborne and the ball comes out. At this point, you just take a knee and you punt it with about 18 seconds left prior to that snap.
Play clock is at 17. There's about an 8-second differential here with the game clock and the play clock. Probably see Morgan State get in position to use a timeout as the play clock winds down. So they will stop the clock with 8 seconds to go.
Timeout, Morgan State. This is a 30-second timeout.
So, Jay, let's move forward now with the MEAC this year with today's developments in the Windy City. Here you have a Morgan State program looking to defend their title from last season. They get off on the right foot. A hard-fought win moving forward for Coach Hull. What's this win mean as they get set for the rest of the schedule?
And I think the key is they got the victory. And we know from last year his teams played better towards the end of the year. Now, I think very important for him, he doesn't play South Carolina State this year, which many people feel is the preseason favorites to win the conference. So you have to think that's advantageous. Got a conference win. This team will get better. So I think the Bears, you know, if they win some games, they've got to take on a tough A&T squad who manhandled them pretty good last year. They've got a chance at contending. And for Morgan, I think that'd be great. But I do think at the end of the day, I mean, they lost so much. And with those young players that have to grow up in a hurry, it's going to be a tough climb for them. But they take it 1 week at a time. Anything can happen in such a balanced Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
See if Howard brings the bus. They do. 10 guys coming after it. Moeller, under specific instructions to get rid of it quickly, does. And the ball will be touched dead at the 32-yard line, but time has expired.
That's the end of the game.
And last year's MEAC champions start off 2015 in style here in the spotlight of the Chicago Football Classic. Lee Hull gets the victory, 21-13 at Morgan State.
Well, after 30-plus years of the Bears being in hibernation, Coach Hull is committed to have the Bears not go back in hibernation. They're going to stick around for a while, and they're going to only improve. This is the team, what do they say, to be the man, you have to beat the man, and Morgan State, still the man.
Our final score from Chicago, Morgan State 21, the Bison of Howard 13. Alongside Jay Walker, Sean Kenny saying so long from Soldier Field. This has been a presentation of ESPN.